Hi guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Just checking I'm live on Facebook as well. Hi once again, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video today. Welcome to part 2 of, I guess, my dreams for Celtic to be promoted across Asia, especially, and all over the world really, but especially across Asia, the world's most populous continent, most populated continent. And as ever, I'd love to read your comments. If you'd be so kind to like and share the video and subscribe if you're new, or all that kind of stuff. And here goes. These are pointers number 11 to 20 as per usual. I thought I'd do it in list form. Maybe I should have changed it, but that's what it's the way I find easiest to organize thoughts, I guess. I often end up talking in list form anyway, I guess, or I just ramble and forget what I'm going to say or whatever. So I just find it easier. But yeah, I'm going to try and get my brain to wake up. And I was struggling to think of ideas, and then suddenly they came to me all at once. So here goes. These are pointers number 11 to 20, as I say. So number 11, I was thinking, like, what could Celtic do to improve the relation between itself and Asia? How can it have more supporters clubs, academies, and things like that? Supporters, fans generally, followers, and that kind of thing from across Asia, and work with organisations, associations, governments, even like the Japanese government, and say, like, they would do fundraising to help Japan, but at the same time Japan could help them to have to promote themselves across Japan. And I say Japan because of the link Celtic already has with Japan, with some of the players who come from Japan, that kind of thing. But having academies and that, hopefully mutual benefit, they could work together to see how they can mutually benefit. But I'd love for Celtic to do it all over Asia, from Malaysia, India, Indonesia, Singapore, and Korea, all the way to Japan, China, and basically, I would say, all of Asia, to have sports clubs and academies and that kind of thing. And I'd say investment and sponsorship and that kind of thing. Look at how it can be a mutual benefit, a mutually beneficial deal. I do wonder how they can benefit together, which I hope they can do. I hope Celtic can fundraise for Asia and vice versa, and maybe like do fundraising games across Asia, charitable matches and that kind of thing. Number 12, how can they continue to, I wonder how they can continue to work together and continue to expand. So, for instance, if Celtic does start working with Japan, given the links that it already has with Japan, how can it expand from Japan to Malaysia, China, India, and the rest of Asia? And how can they share ideas and continue to share ideas? And again, how can Celtic support the projects in those countries? But I'd love for Japan, China, India, and places like that, all over Asia, basically, to have their own sovereign wealth fund, and even there to be a joint Asian sovereign wealth fund, which I talked about before, to invest in, I often say, like Italian football, but also in Celtic as well. So yeah, I wonder how they can keep going and expanding, like, so not just one part of Asia, but all over Asia, and all possible Asian organisations, associations, businesses, and whatever groups they can, as well as individuals. And again, having sports clubs and academies, and even for the Asian diaspora, however you pronounce it, all over the world, as I say. Number 13, I wonder what challenges Celtic will face in trying to do so. I imagine there would be challenges in doing so. And sometimes I do wonder if my ideas can ever be put into practice, but I guess I can only do my best. Just like in part 1, I still forgot to wear my cap to cover my ball patch. Anyway, it is what it is. Normally I wear my Interman cap and my AC Man cap and that kind of thing. But anyway, it is what it is. Number 14, I wonder how they can solve problems, and again, work together to solve problems, and tackle any issues they face. So think about what challenges they might face and how they can overcome those hurdles to promote themselves, what ideas they can come up with, like billboard campaigns, or, as I say, working with governments and organisations, charities, NGOs and whatnot across Asia, and those that work with Asia around the world, and again the diaspora, who often perhaps work through like fundraising for their communities and that kind of thing. As I say, I hope Celtic will benefit itself, but I also hope that Celtic can benefit Asian projects, like Asians in business, and in different areas, and maybe help football development in Asia as well itself. So hopefully they'll benefit together, ideally. Number 15. So yeah, that would be I suppose my biggest goal of that. It would be to help Celtic, hopefully to help Celtic equally pretty much to Asia and their economies, and that kind of helping them to grow, and like fundraising through the foundation, and somehow again balancing an equal balance. Number 16. On that note, I'd love to know what you think could be any creative ideas. Again, as ever, I welcome any suggestions. So what you think could benefit Asia and its growth, and Celtic at the same time, and as Asian economies grow, Celtic could benefit as well. So, for instance, Celtic could do lots of fundraising through the foundation, and maybe even fund their own academies and sports clubs. But at the same time, as Asian economies grow, um, they they could return the favour, I guess. Hopefully, I know people are not always grateful or thankful, but hopefully, as many of them as possible will be. But as I say, I'd still love to see like Japan helping the club to fund academies and sports clubs, which could help them by keeping their people fit and healthy and that kind of thing. And at the same time, Celts could learn about their culture, um, and things like Tai Chi. I think that's Japanese. I sometimes get mixed up. I'm sure that's Japanese, not Chinese, but similar like martial arts or different sort of things about different cultures, different cuisines. They could try chai from India, things like that, Indian tea and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'd love to know any suggestions on how they can have a mutual benefit. I think that'd be pretty cool. Number 17. So it'd be interesting to see what they could achieve. Um, I suppose I normally see myself as someone who is, I guess, mentally creative. I'm not very good with my hands, but I do normally come up with ideas, as you can probably tell. Um, as I say, I hope these ideas will be the Kickstarter to help to benefit Celtic and Asian nations and their growth at the same time, somehow killing two birds, one stone, as I say. Um, Even though I'm an animal lover and vegetarian, but there's a sad story I'm thinking about, but I'm not going to share it right now. But something to do with my cat and how innocent he is, but how innocent he looks. But yeah, I won't mention it just in case there's animal lovers like me who probably would be sad hearing that story. What he did, not what happened to my cat, but what my cat did to some other poor creature. Anyway, but yeah, I'd love to know your suggestions on how to put my ideas into action. Um, Maybe how Celtic can work with Asian nations and charities, NGOs, and whatnot, as I say, to tackle poverty, improve animal rights, and do loads of great stuff. It'd be interesting to see what they can achieve. Number 18, like through the foundation, doing football for good and that kind of thing. Personally, I'd love to see Celtic being tax exempt. If there's some sort of way it could get a charitable status where it'd be tax exempt and that kind of thing, I think that'd be pretty cool as well. So, side note. But yeah, one thing I think of, and I hope this makes sense. I know I think so differently, but I think like if Asian nations like India, as they or different Asian nations, China or whatnot, invested into Celtic, and then Celtic had to pay tax to the British government, which at the moment it does, but I'd love for Celtic to be tax exempt. I'd say it would feel a bit unfair given that, as obviously Britain invaded India, but if they own shares in Celtic but then had to pay tax to the British government. I hope that makes sense, I'll say. It would feel a bit unfair. And number 19, normally when it comes to tech projects, I like to help Africa. And again, I mentioned this a while back, but my infamous words, I know I said this before, but I would love to support like STEM education for both Africa and Asia, I guess. When it comes to tech, more so with Africa, but Asia and Africa could work together in tech. And number 20, on that note, I mentioned about recently, I didn't get around to part 3 and 4 of such, but I mentioned about Egypt and how I'd love for that to be a bridge, or a portal, if that's right. A bridge would probably be a better way of putting it. A link between Africa and Asia, as it's a transcontinental country between Africa and Asia, apparently. And they could host events that connect Africa together with Asia and in time for and Celtic. I think that'd be pretty cool if they could find a way to do that. Again, I'd love to know any suggestions on how I could put my ideas into action. And on that hopefully positive note, Out.